Fashion.
For watching this episode of HeSpoke Fashion. I am the host, Daylon Thomas, and I want to get right down to the topic of discussion. I know you've already heard of the incident that has gone viral concerning one of our prestigious HBCUs. For this story, we're traveling south to the beautiful city of Tallahassee, Florida. And we're going to make our stop today at the prestigious HBCU, Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, also known and better known as FAMU. Now, we simply have to get to the bottom of this reported viral moment. Now, previously, I only paid attention to this university because of their amazing marching band. The Marching 100 is well known around many college campuses, and I would say as a former high school drum major, that it is with good reason that they are known even on the high school level. But now it appears there's something else gaining our attention. Now, as the story goes, a young lady by the name of Tiara, who was obtaining a master's degree, decided to do something different for her graduation photos. That seems harmless. Now, everyone takes graduation photos, so this appears to be innocent enough to me. Wouldn't you agree? Well, according to her LinkedIn page, that Tiara Williams is again receiving her master's degree, which is, listen, a great accomplishment for everyone that does so, but an even better accomplishment for a young Black woman. So let's give our friend Tiara, let's give her, please, can we give her a round of applause? Can we please? Yeah. Round of applause is definitely welcome here. Now, what would her problem be? What her graduation photos? Would she wear the latest from Bauman to show off her taste in fashion? I mean, you know, like Mary J. Blige. You do know that now made famous photo, Bauman almost got Michael Jordan from Mary J. Blige. He was ready to risk it all. Perhaps she rocked Fendi like Rihanna. Now, Fendi may have been the fashion that brought A$AP Rocky around, or it may be what keeps him around. Oh, okay, no, it wasn't Fendi either. So it's a no for Bauman, another no for Fendi. Certainly it must be Chanel like Beyonce. Queen Bey herself rocks Chanel, so I'm sure this is it, because this is fashion at its best. Let's check. What would you guess it would be? All right. Time's up on your guess. Did you guess right? No, it was none of the above. Tiara determined that it would be best for her. Yes, some of you may have guessed it, that it would be best for her to pose nude in front of the Rattlers statue. That's right. Really? Listen, I can't show you the entire photo, but what I can tell you is her nails were done nicely and matched the shoes to the T. Of course, the question arises, why? Why would an educated woman with sound mind and body choose to do this? You know, while it is her prerogative to do as she pleases, I am not certain that this was the right thing to do. Well, before you get mad at me, let me say that I wasn't the only one who questioned her reasoning for doing so. And believe me, she received immediate backlash. One person commented that there are 3 inevitable things in this life. The third one being someone from FAMU doing the most unhinged graduation photo shoot. Unhinged indeed. His comment also implies that this is nothing new for a graduation photo shoot. So I decided to do a bit of research, and it turns out that, you know what? This person is right. Because formerly, they were highly touted as having the most fashionable graduation photos. As you can see from some of the graduation photos captured just last year, look at these beauties. All are very fashionable, and in my opinion, they kept it classy. Oh my gosh, look to these more sultry, but again, fashionable photos captured by the photographer of these graduates. And finally, not to be outdone by these young ladies, there were those who all struck similar poses, as to say, confident and beautiful. But what is it that made this graduate, deviate from the formula that garnered them a reputation of high fashion graduate photos? Well, as you may have imagined, the backlash was swift and direct from alumni and students alike. One commented, "Little do you know, it's not even about you. What you fail to understand is you just set us, HBCUs, in parentheses, thousands of steps back because you wanted your 15 minutes. Now, years beyond your departure, this will still affect FAMU in a negative way. That ain't it, and it will never be." Now, she did get some support as someone rebutted the last comment and says, "Okay, now this is too much. No one person is setting FAMU thousands of steps back." And you know what? One thing that I notice is that every time someone attempts to at least confront the person who did an act that may be out the box, you have those who are too quick to step in my opinion, in an attempt to save that person. Now, while I do agree that this one incident is not going to set the university back, I will add that sometimes we must allow the person to reap the consequences of their bad act before we intervene to apply the salve that softens the blow. Too often in our community, we are protective when it comes to our own in committing a bad act. But if it was someone of another race that had defamed our precious monuments and statues and landmarks, then there would have been a lot to pay from our community. There would have been marches and protests from all around. However, because it is one of our own, then we are so quick to cushion and protect them, apply the salve of forgiveness, and therefore preclude the person from feeling the full force of their mistake. Now, judging by the response from Tiara, we can tell that perhaps she wants to continue to excuse her bad acts. That is why in this instance, we must make certain that we share with Tiara and those like her this concept, and the concept is the concept of consequences. You know, some of us don't have a concept of consequences. The concept of consequences is simply that for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction, sort of like a domino effect. And one of the best lessons you can ever learn is that actions have consequences. And it's best to learn that concept early in life. One commenter seems to grasp that same concept of consequences with her comment, and it reads, "The girl in front of the FAMU snake just got her master's, and that's her grad pick." Now, every time a prospective employer looks her up, that is what they will find. A photo shoot is one thing, but there's a grad picture in front of the school. And then she leaves with shaking my head emoji. Now, how one chooses to dress is solely up to them. But remember, how you choose to dress tells us something about you. You know, here at HeSpoke Fashion, we believe that your fashion speaks way before you utter a word. So in this case, when it comes to Miss Terica, what are you really trying to tell us? What does it mean to dress provocatively? Well, let's just put it this way. If you describe someone's clothing or behavior as provocative, you mean that it is intended to make someone feel sexual desire. Now, I want you to know that female participants judged a woman more negatively when she was pictured in revealing compared to non-revealing clothing. And this was driven by perceptions, watch this, that the provocatively dressed woman was more likely to have one-night stands. You hear me, fellas? Since revealing clothing serves as a cue to promiscuity, women are motivated to criticize other women who dress in revealing ways. So listen, peek this game, ladies, if you will. The hate is not coming from men. It is coming from other women. Now, while we're at it, let me share this with you, which oftentimes the late Kevin Samuels, rest in peace, also stated, and that is the sexual economics theory, which maintains that sexual interactions can be compared to a marketplace. Kevin Samuels would often refer to this as the sexual marketplace value. In this, it is noted that men are buyers looking to acquire sex, and women are the suppliers who provide it. Like a marketplace, competition between suppliers, I know you don't like that word, but competition between suppliers can lower or raise the cost of this resource. And so to maintain their bargaining power, women may coordinate to condemn other women who lower the cost of sex through promiscuity. Now, here's a bit of a side note for all like Terica that like to dress provocatively in the workplace. In an article written by Julie Ann Stiddick on her Recalibrated Living website, it stated that studies show that a woman whose work attire is too provocative can be sabotaging her own career. Business etiquette experts say unflattering assumptions are made about women who wear provocative clothes, and they're not taken seriously. A study published in Psychology of Women Quarterly found that women in high-level positions who dressed in what was viewed as quote-unquote sexy outfits were viewed as less competent, regardless of their skill sets. The facts show that dressing too sexy can be hurting you professionally. Secondly, we see here that she is telling us that she has had issues with accepting her body. Herein lies what I would call the similar expression of most women who have issues with accepting their bodies, in that the end results are mainly that they dress provocatively. Now, what does that mean exactly? Well, it means that they are showing us what they have not accepted themselves in hopes that we will accept that which they in fact have not yet accepted. Don't ask me to say that again. But whether the issue is being overweight or too skinny, the outcome is often the same. While to Terica's credit, her credentials speak for themselves. But the mere fact that she points out the last bullet point poses a bit of concern for me. My question is, what does a perfected image look like? Now, was this a prelude or warning to what she was going to do in terms of her graduation photos? Now, after digging a bit deeper, I found that Miss Williams is one of many Black women challenging respectability politics in the public eye. Lizzo is notorious for embracing her body with revealing outfits and nude body positivity photo shoot. Megan Thee Stallion broke down the barriers between being a hot girl and a college girl. How? And using respectability politics, she twerked her way to a bachelor's degree in health administration from Texas Southern University. Most recently, Rhode Island State Senator Tiara Mack made headlines for twerking in a bikini in a viral TikTok. So as you may know, the story is that over the July 4th holiday weekend, a 28-year-old posted a video of herself twerking upside down in a headstand in a bathing suit on a beach. Vote Senator Mack, she said with a smile in the roughly 8-second video. And despite racist comments and backlash about decorum, the unapologetic senator refused to apologize for being herself. A spokesperson for LGBTQ equality, Littman, stated, and I quote, "It's not about the video she made. That is the excuse that they have found to grab onto. It is about the fact that she is a queer Black woman who is fighting aggressively for reproductive rights, for sexual health, for LGBTQ equality," Littman said. They found the thing to be mad at, but what they're really mad at is that someone like her is in charge, end quote. Now here is LGBTQ explaining a Black woman twerking upside down at the beach. Oops. I thought I saw something else. Nevertheless, I'm not going to speak on it. I want to get canceled. But respectability politics refers to the way that people attempting to make social change present their demands in a way that are acceptable to the dominant standards in their society. Now, remember when I told you guys about the concept of consequences earlier? Well, if you don't learn the lesson early, it's okay. The consequences of your actions will continue despite your failure to learn the lesson. As we can see, TikTok's actions were swift. Action meet consequence. Whether Tiara Williams was playing respectability politics was not up for discussion when it came to the response from the university, as the investigation was swift and they were quick to condemn this act, while proceeding with making changes so that this will not happen again. Now here's what I really want to talk about, and that is discretion. There was a time when people practiced discretion. Discretion in fashion was a must. What does that mean exactly? What that means is that you would normally have clothing that you would only wear indoors or privately. There were certain items that may have been too risque for the public and were therefore relegated to privacy. Now here is an action that allows you to do what you don't like others to do to you. And you know what that is? That is to judge. And it gives you the opportunity to judge for yourself or be your own judge. And who is it you are judging? You are judging YOU. That's right. These were things you would only want to share with someone special, these items of clothing that were identified and relegated to privacy. They may have been lingerie items or undergarments that were deemed in that day for your eyes only. Now, there is no discretion. So we may see women who are, in my opinion, some of the worst offenders of this, which is wearing PJs at the grocery store or bonnets in the airport. Why? Because we have lost our discretion. Will we ever get back to a time where discretion was key? In the age of liberal thinking and progressive beliefs, that remains to be seen. You know what? I'm going to let you be the judge on whether you want things like this to continue, as in Terica's new graduation photos, Tiara Mack's upside down twerking, and allowing the LGBTQ community to be the mouthpiece for what we as a community see with our own eyes. Ladies, I'm talking to you because you alone have the power to change this. And believe you me, men like me will support you 100%. Listen, if you are supportive of this mission, then let me hear from you. Guys, that's all I have. Thank you for joining us.
HeSpoke Fashion.